Hi, this is Jillian, and today I'm going to show you how to build your own custom forms in FieldWire as part of our form solution offered with our business accounts. FieldWire custom forms are an addition to our 6 default forms: daily reports, RFIs, timesheets, inspection requests, safety audits, and time and material tags. With the custom form builder, you can either make modifications to the default forms or build one from scratch designed to exactly match your company's processes. Anyone on your project team can use the forms you create to fill out information from any device, whether back in the office or on their mobile devices in the field. This allows you to consolidate all your paper forms into one streamlined platform and process. In this video, I'm going to cover how to create a custom form from scratch on web, the various sections and entry types, and then we'll finish by filling out the custom form while on the mobile app. Our goal is to recreate a paper form a contractor has already been using so they can transition to managing their forms directly in FieldWire. We will start with their paper form and finish with a FieldWire form. I'm going to recreate the safety audit form like the one you see here. As a default, the first section that will appear on the form are the form attribute fields: description, assignee, and status. So let's start by creating a custom safety audit form. Here I am on the Forms tab on my project. Click New Form in the upper left, and then choose New Template at the bottom. There are 2 different types of custom form templates: default and dated. Default forms are typically used for things like change order requests, RFIs, or timesheets because they don't require one specific date. A dated form will automatically have a date section added to the form, and it will be date dependent as well. This means that certain information on the form will be based off the date the form was created. For example, the weather is date dependent, so if you would like to have weather populated on your form, then just be sure to choose the dated template. I'm going to select the type to be a dated template because I want my safety reports to be associated with a particular date. I'll enter in the name as Custom Safety Audit to differentiate it from the current default safety audit form, and click Create. Now you can start adding sections to your form. There are a variety of different options, and I'll go into further detail on how lists and tables work later on in this video. If you choose weather, you will have a section that automatically populates the weather based on the address listed in your project settings. The attachment section allows you to attach photos, files, or a cropped plan. Lastly, the signature section ensures that the assignee can sign off and it will be date and time stamped. Check out our support articles that go into even more detail on each section. We'll create a list first. Lists are predetermined rows or lines that can be filled out. I'm going to name it General Observations. Then you have multiple entry line types to choose from. I'm going to cover our most commonly used ones, which are long text and checkbox and notes. Let's start by creating a checkbox and notes line. This is good for items that you want your project team to be able to quickly check off and add additional notes if needed. I'll type in the information that I want to appear on the form next to the checkbox, and then I'll continue to add new lines for the rest of my checklist items. Next, I'll add a long text line. This is a standard entry type to record things like comments or observations. I'll title it Notes. I can add as many line items to my list section as I want, but let's go ahead and add a table section now. Tables have predetermined columns that can be filled out row by row. For example, a work log. I'm going to name the table Additional Observations. I'll click on New Column, and I have most of the same entry types as I did with the list option. I'm going to use short text for the columns titled Description, Location, Corrective Action, and Status, so my project team can freely fill those out based off the additional safety observations they want to record. To finish my report, I'll add an attachment section so the assignee filling out the form can include photos of their safety observations, and lastly, a signature section. You can always move, edit, or delete the various sections, lines, or columns on your form, as well as preview it by clicking on the Preview button. Once everything looks good to go, select Publish. Now your team will have access to the form either on web or from their mobile device. You can also modify any of the existing form templates on FieldWire or custom templates that you have created. Let's say you would like to add another column or line item to the default daily report to better fit your company's needs. Click on Manage Templates and select the template you want to edit. Then you will need to hit Unpublish to edit the form. Just a heads up, when you unpublish a report, your project team will not have access to it until you publish it again. Once you are done with your edits, click Publish, and your form will be updated and accessible by your team. You can also duplicate or delete by clicking on the Actions dropdown while managing your templates. Once you finish setting up your custom form templates, you can clone them over to any new projects that you create. Just choose the correct project and make sure you check the box to copy form templates. Now that my custom forms are published and ready to use, let's switch over to the mobile app version of FieldWire. Here we are on my tablet on the Forms tab. You can complete a form on any device, including Android, iPhone, iPad, or computer. I'm currently on site doing a safety walk, so I'm going to start a new safety audit form by clicking on the plus sign and selecting Safety Audit from the dropdown. I'll start checking things off and adding comments and photos as I do my safety walk in Building 1. Once finished, I'll sign off and change the status to Submitted. I instantly have a clean and clear safety report. I don't have to go back to the office and compile all of my notes and photos together into a report because I was able to easily do it all straight from my tablet. The rest of the project team doesn't have to wait for the report, and potential safety risks are taken care of quickly. That was an overview on FieldWire's custom form builder. Thanks for watching!